How to direct your happiness. I mentioned this idea in a comment section and I received some positive responses, so I thought I would utilize it here. I believe culture is a dangerous concept. It's being used against the population in many ways, but the way I wish to focus on today is how it alters your train of thought and what you can do about it. I'm not going to go into a diatribe about how bad culture is, but I want it to be the center of the idea. American culture festers itself in negativity because the media believes they can make more money with negative stories than they can with positive ones. Regardless, there are other motives for these choices, and I want to focus on the effects it has on you as a whole. Messaging is important. It's important because those who are doing the messaging know full well you may not like what you hear, but your brain will still process it. It reminds me of the lies in politics. The first message that gets out, no matter the truth or the lie, is what the public will believe. Oswald was a lone gunman, and by golly, that's what people believed. But more importantly, it's about positive versus negative. That's all that really matters to the mind. In actual terms, our culture is never interested in your happiness. They are only interested in gloom and doom to bring you down. They want you underachieving because it's a slave culture. The more they can tear you down, your morale, the greater control they can have over your slave mentality. So here is the solution. If you wish to find your happiness once again, the best way is to find it by doing something creative. This is your master weapon. This is your Indiana Jones revolver against an enemy with a sword. So what is so important about creativity? It has a few simple and significant central qualities which make it the elixir against the world and their nonsense. We are a culture of spectators. We watch everything. We watch too many things. We need to get back to doing. This is the reason number one. When you are doing something, you are redirecting your brain towards something positive. Even cleaning your house achieves this goal. So doing something creative is necessary. So what kind of creativity? Something where you use your hands and your mind for starters. Families who gave their kids piano lessons were not doing it to torture their child. They were doing it to establish a discipline, to educate the child in receiving a feeling and hearing it. With a little effort, you are now forming a tune you couldn't otherwise do when you were pouting. This is a lesson in and of itself. No kid ever became a serial killer because he had to learn piano or guitar. One can learn to paint, to illustrate digitally or with other mediums. Learn Photoshop, which allows you to layer and manipulate images. Photography is a great one. Anything you wish to do is fine. That is your choice, but it needs to be a creative choice. Why is this so? I call it the physics of the brain. If God created the heavens and the earth and he was satisfied, then it would seem Spock-like logical to believe that when I create, the result is not only a product, but an education, learning something about the self, untapping unforeseen potential, and sharing yourself with the world. But most importantly, sharing a part of yourself with yourself. This leads the brain and the mind down the paths of happiness. The brain is looking for answers always, and part of those answers are within our own creations. Even if you aren't good, that's okay, because it's the pathway to getting better. Never expect to be great on the outset, but that is not the goal. The goal is observation. When you can see what parts are good and which ones need improvement and why. This turns you into a student who seeks to be the master. As you are doing this, now what is your brain focused on? I could tell you what it's not focused on. Negative media. After you start learning a little discipline in something creative and you see the potential in the byproduct you've created, you don't care about all the world's negativities. It's a winning formula. Yet realizing this isn't a thought that requires a Berkeley degree. We often forget the obvious. Do something. Stop spectating. Do something creative and find your happiness. I hope you found this helpful.